love Ottawa. I have a lot of freedom. I can go anywhere I want.
Well, that's a snippet from a BBC production called Transporting Stories. It features many documentaries about public transit around the world. Ottawa's story centers around Daniel. He is a 42-year-old with Down syndrome, and he learned how to navigate transit in the city thanks to OC Transpo's travel training program. Its creator, Kathy Riley, is retiring today, and Hallie Cotnam brings us with her story and more about this program. Hello.
Good morning, Robin.
So tell us about the program and who it sets out to help.
It pairs people who have disabilities with others in the community who then teach them how to take transit. You mentioned Kathy Riley. She's worked with people with special needs her entire career, but for the past 20 years, she's been the accessibility specialist with OC Transpo, and it was she who initiated the travel training program, partnering with more than 78 different groups to reach, over the years, thousands of riders to teach them that, yes, they can ride OC Transpo.
A lot of it is anxiety. What bus to take? What direction do I wait? When I come into the transit station, do I stop at, 1A, B, or C, or 2D, or where do I go? Upper level, lower level? When I get on the bus, will I get a seat? Will I know where to get off if the bus is fogged up? Or if it's winter and it's dirty?
At its heart, she says the program is about removing barriers, although she says it's more than just ramps. When she started, there were only 11 buses fitted with ramps. Now they're all accessible. Bottom line, it's about changing attitudes, not only of riders to say that they can do this, but also drivers as well.
Can you tell us a little bit more about Daniel, who we heard featured in that BBC documentary?
Yeah, Daniel Pinsonneault, whose birthday is today. He turns 42 today, and he moved to Ottawa about 10 years ago to live with his older sister, Simone. Daniel got involved with LiveWorkPlay, which is how he accessed the travel training program, and his world opened up. He works full-time at Costco. He has a girlfriend. He has a circle of buddies. I met up with Daniel and Simone at his apartment in Barhaven, where Daniel catches the 75 to get to work or the express downtown to meet up with friends. Friends with whom he's happy to share tips on how to get around on transit.
So they can just check on the app, or the OC Transpo app, and also this Buddy app, and they can check the times of the buses too.
So in the early days, we sort of learned to take the bus to places that he needed to get to on a daily basis. So learning to get from home to work, to hook up with some of his friends. But then eventually, and with practice, right, Daniel, and confidence and, learning a new city and navigating, he was able to really figure out how to do that on his own.
What did Daniel tell you, Hallie, about the difference that this has made to his life?
You said it was critical. I asked him, if he couldn't take the bus, what would his life be like?
I'd be stuck. I'd be back here. Yes.
Or you would be dependent.
Dependent on family to drive me.
Him being able to take the bus and the LRT has really provided him that independence, right? That everybody wants. Nobody really wants to have to be dependent on other people to get them from one place to the next. So it really affords him that freedom. And I think if it wasn't for him being able to take the public transit, I think his life would look really different.
Kathy Riley was telling me that there are, of course, people in Ottawa who don't have that freedom, who haven't found that freedom. And I asked her, what's at stake for them?
Everything. There are still people sitting in their parents' basement, watching TV, playing video games, because transportation is, or they may, either it's unavailable if they live rural, or they're not in the position to take the travel training program.
So who else did you meet who's come through the travel training program?
Kathy brought in partners in Ottawa's mental health community. So the Royal Ottawa has a long-term care home adjacent to it called the Royal Ottawa Place. It's a 64-bed residence for people with persistent chronic mental illness. And that's where I met the now transit-savvy Peter Jobin, age 72.
Just to get out, because I don't want to become, what do you call those people again? They're afraid to go out. Every week we go every Friday, unless Friday's a holiday, then we go Thursday.
What do you do at Carlingwood?
We shop at Dollarama. I buy Pepsi and sometimes a chocolate bar.
What bus do you take to get to Carlingwood?
85.
85.
I try to sit at the same place beside the rear door because I can get out easy. I used to do that when I was a kid. I was afraid of losing my the stop or something. I'd have to go to the next stop, then walk back.
Peter was talking there about, he didn't want to become one of those people who was afraid to go out and leave. I guess, when we think about barriers to using public transit, one might think physical barriers, but there are others as well.
For some folks, it's the noise, it's the crowds, it's the uncertainty. Kelly Halligan is a recreational therapist at Royal Ottawa Place.
I think it's a scary feeling when you don't know where you're going, right? If you're not able to use public transportation to access something that's important to you, maybe your family members aren't able to help you. And then you have this opportunity with the travel training program. So now it's like, okay, let me help you utilize this travel training. So what is it about taking the bus? Like maybe the social anxieties, we can overcome that together. We can plan the route together. And eventually you'll be able to go together. And then when you can get to an activity, let's say they're going to, that they thrive on, then it builds that self-esteem, it builds that self-confidence.
You've introduced us to Kathy Riley a little bit earlier in this segment. She's been helping administer this program for 20 years. What's she reflecting on as she retires?
Yeah, some career highlights. For example, they brought a bus over to the hotels where the Syrian refugees were put up, and they took them on a tour of Ottawa, their first glimpse of this new city. Kathy told me another story about a young woman with a prosthetic leg who would request a ramp when she wanted to take the bus. And this woman was tired of getting attitude from drivers who couldn't see that she had a prosthetic leg and assumed she was hale and hearty.
And she said when she got on the bus, she banged her leg. She banged it on purpose on the ticket machine, and his face just dropped.
So she sent a little message.
She did. But you know what? The majority wouldn't have that, the guts to do that. But, the old story of you don't know what other people are living through.
Kathy told me this story of a phone call she received. She'll never forget it. She got a call from a graduate of the travel training program.
A young boy in high school called me. And he said, "Can you talk to my mom and dad?" And I said, "Why is that?" And he said, she said, I use a wheelchair and I just want to go to the Coliseum to see a movie with my friends, and they tell me I can't. And I really want to go. Can you tell them that I'll be okay?"
So you got on the phone with his folks?
And he went to the movies.
That's so interesting. So helping people empower their families as well with knowledge.
Yeah, and that's something that Simone Villeneuve, the Daniel Pinsonneault's big sister, had to grapple with herself.
It was hard to let go, and of course your thoughts always go to sort of those dark places and those what if this happens, and but then eventually I just said, you know what, it's hard to let go, but I think it can have a really positive impact, right?
Yeah.
Now, Kathy Riley is truly proud of Daniel. Kathy is actually retiring today, January 31st, and she's feeling good about the many, many people that have learned to flex their transit muscles thanks to this program that she started 20 years ago.
Okay, well, happy retirement to Kathy. Yeah, happy birthday to Daniel as well. Okay, thanks very much, Hallie, for bringing us the story.
Thanks, Rob.
We posted some photos from the people you heard from in this story on the Ottawa Morning Twitter feed. And if you want to see the BBC Storywork series of mini documentaries about transportation, including Daniel's story, you can do so by going to transportingstories.com.